Hey guys, so today I just wanted to give you some tips. The kind of tips are just things that I keep like learning over time that, I would like for you guys to not have to like figure out on your own if you don't have to. It's just like a quick 4 or 5 things because um it's some things you can anticipate, like technical difficulties, but you can't always figure out how to troubleshoot them, or can't anticipate activities outside of like the common things you would think of, because there's so many like little scenarios that can happen. So first I would say for the smaller kids, like level one, like I would go into the classroom 5 minutes early just so you can play games with them and really get them used to you. Like are pretty fast at it, so I don't think it's like necessary. But if you were going to enter the classroom earlier than the 3 minute mark, I would say do that for like the younger students. And for the older students, like level two, like high level two, I probably wouldn't enter until 3 minutes. Like if we were allowed to go later, I would probably even go like 1 minute before, because sometimes they're not in the classroom at all, or it's just one student. So for those, I would just go in at 3 minutes. Um, Another thing that I do with those minutes is, like, at first it was really hard for me to come up with activities, but it's really simple. Like I do a lot of listing activities, like um, colors or places or activities or jobs, just whatever. I usually look at the review section, and if they don't have any vocabulary or something in the review, I just try to like kind of go in the rest of the lesson plan to see what they're building upon, and then do that just as a game. Or if it's just like one or two students, I'll just start off like doing stickers with them, seeing what they like, and then doing a whole bunch of them and like letting them count them. And then after we count them, maybe do something else, and then I'll be like, let's say bye bye to Ultiman or whatever, and then just go like 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 until they're all gone. Just little stuff like that to make it a little fun, and they get really used to you really fast and to see your energy and personality. So I think it's good, and it sets the tone, and then they're excited. Okay, so those are two things. And the other thing is, oh yeah. So sometimes you'll have classes of four, sometimes you'll have classes of three, two, or sometimes even one. Some like I had a class today, only two students were supposed to be there, maybe three, but only one came and was there, and maybe later another one popped up. But um, if you have like one or two kids, I would do those games like twice. And if it's one kid, maybe you can even do it 3 times. So, because like there's one where they click go, and then it goes around the board and then lands on something, and then they would make a sentence off of it or describe the picture. So there, I would just let them do it a few times, um, unless there's 4 students, and then we can all just go one time, and then it's okay. 3 students also, that should be okay to go one time, depending on their pacing and how well they're picking up everything and how fast they're going. So yeah, don't be afraid to do doubles when you don't have a lot of students. Then I had this happen today where a kid came in. No, I had 2 students that were supposed to show up, and I was there maybe 3 minutes. I think it was an older class. 3 minutes before the class, I'm sitting there. No one's coming. It's class begins. No one's there. So I just go to the first page and just sit. I wasn't sure of what do I do, because I was like, do I like continue with the class and whenever, even though I'm teaching to nobody, and then they'll just come in around the time that like they would have entered in if there was someone in the class. So I asked the people, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? They said to wait for 10 minutes, and they'll see if you waited 10 minutes in the system. So you can't like say I waited 10 minutes, because they can see that. So go wait for 10 minutes. But she did suggest that if after 2 or 3 minutes nobody was in there, log out of the classroom, then log back in and wait an additional like 4 minutes or so. I guess it's really until the 10 minute mark, but maybe she's counting that time you log out as some time. So yeah, she said 10 minutes you should wait. So you don't have to teach. You just sit there for 10 minutes, and if no one shows up, you can leave and you'll get paid for the full class. So that was nice to know because because sometimes you can ask them questions, and if especially if it's particularly early, they can't help you out because they're not going to respond really quickly. So I was just sitting there for 10 minutes. It was about 5 or 6 minutes. One kid popped up, and then a few minutes later, another kid popped up. And what I did is just go a little faster. And on some games, when I felt like we got the gist of it, because it was a review class, I would go on to, I wouldn't necessarily finish. Like maybe I'll do most of it, but not all of it, just to keep up with the time since they were both late. And then if we had time, I would just go back. And then the last thing is, so I got a job at an elementary school. It's just an end of year position, but I probably wouldn't, I can't work both of them because the time would conflict. So I would be gone from the 23rd of March until June 11th. And I let them know, and I was like telling them I really like the platform. So like I hope like there's no penalty, for having to take some time off. And they were like, well, with extended leave, you can do it, of course, but you aren't guaranteed that you'll get any hours when you come back. So it's kind of like, I guess, a 50-50 chance. I'm not sure if like your hours would just be really low when you first start back and then it builds up over time, or will it really be like you can't get any classes because you're really low down on their roster. So I'm a little nervous about that because with this thing going around, I don't know, will the school shut down? Um, I know a lot of school systems are shutting down, so I'm not sure if it shuts down like after a few weeks, then I try to come back to Qkids, then will I even be able to get any hours? So that's the thing that you have to kind of weigh, like I guess the risk versus the reward. So those are just like five. I think those are around five things that I've learned just in my little over a week. Maybe it's exactly a week. I'm not sure. Maybe a day or two. So let's just say day 8 or 9. That's just what I've come to find out over this last time, and maybe even in the last couple of days when these very interesting situations have arisen. So I hope that was helpful, and that it aids you in some way in the future so that you can go through a lot trial and error and kind of already have an idea of the random things that might happen that aren't necessarily always covered in all of the trainings and so on. Alrighty, guys. Happy teaching. Bye.